useless. Nah, just smart, Luke retorted. What's the matter? Scared of a little water? Ben teased. The brothers fist bumped each other as they laughed. Sheesh, I guess you guys aren't hungry and don't want any of these awesome sandwiches and snacks I brought, Luke replied with a smirk, opening up his backpack and peering into it. All for us, right, Haru? Haru cocked his head and barked in agreement. Max shoved his brother away and immediately slung an arm around Luke's shoulders. What you bring, best friend? Ben blew a raspberry. Mom said Max would trade us all away for a ham sandwich if he was hungry. That's not true, Max responded. I don't even like ham. But bacon? On the last piece of tarp, Luke pulled out wrapped sandwiches, chips, cookies, candy, and juice pouches. The boys all sat around the food. Haru pressed tight against Luke's side. Turkey and bacon for Max, roast beef and provolone for Ben, ham and cheese for me, and boiled chicken and mozzarella for Haru, Luke said as he divvied up the food. Haru rested his head on Luke's knee. Yes! Your parents make the best sandwiches in town, Max said as he took an enormous bite. Oh, man. So much better than the PB&J sandwiches my mom packed for us yesterday. I like your mom's sandwiches, Luke replied. She uses awesome bread and fancy jam and cuts off all the crusts. They're great. Yeah, if you're 5, Max complained. But I'm a man now. I need man food. You're 11, Max. Almost 12. Ben rolled his eyes. Thanks for all the food, Luke, Ben said. And thank your parents for us, too. Luke smiled as he watched his friends. He'd met Max in kindergarten, but he'd been friends with both brothers ever since their first time playing together. The Cole brothers looked a lot alike, but they were very different. Red-headed Ben was quiet and reserved, while Max was loud, obnoxious, and could never sit still. Since Luke fell somewhere in the middle of their personality types, they all got along really well. As usual, Max had wolfed down his food while Ben waited politely for Luke to start eating. This was why his parents preferred Ben over Max. Whenever they came to the store, it was always Ben who politely thanked them while Max raced around, touching everything. Maybe it came with being an older brother. Max had finished his sandwich and chips and was now looking over to where Haru was delicately eating his sandwich from Luke's hand. Haru's looks pretty good also, Max remarked. Let me have a bite. He reached over as if to take the dog's sandwich, causing Haru to make a cute, whiny growl. Turning his back on Max and effectively blocking him, Haru continued to eat his food. The boys all laughed. It was funny how such a big dog like Haru was so gentle, nibbling carefully around Luke's fingers. You can have a Haru sandwich next time, Luke said. Plain boiled chicken and mozzarella on white bread. I'm sure you'll love it. Max made a face, reached for a juice pouch, and squished it. Hey, it's still ice cold, he said in surprise. Yesterday our drinks were all warm by the time we drank them. Well, I froze a whole lot and lined the bottom of my bag with them. Luke turned his backpack upside down on the tarp, and a pile of juice pouches tumbled out. Figured we'd get real thirsty. Max pressed his drink to his face. Nice! You must be a genius! Grinning, Luke took out a water bottle from the side of his bag and poured ice-cold water in a bowl for Haru before unwrapping his own sandwich. I can't believe it's already August, Luke said around a mouthful of food. School starts in a few weeks. I'm not listening, Max slapped his hands over his ears. Ben shrugged. I'm looking forward to being an 8th grader, he replied. Max gave his brother a dirty look. Only you would say something like that, he groused. Don't worry, at least 7th grade is better than 6th, Ben said. School sucks no matter what grade it is, Max retorted. Right, Luke? Luke nodded, but truthfully, he didn't mind going to school. He enjoyed his science classes and liked most of his teachers. The only part of school he didn't enjoy was not seeing Haru all day. If Luke had his way, he would take Haru with him everywhere. Max was now tearing through his second bag of cookies. Hey, save some for us, you greedy pig, Ben fumed. You snooze, you lose. Give that back! Max lunged at his brother, who'd snatched up all the cookies. Luke shook his head as the brothers began wrestling over the bags of sweets. There was going to be nothing but crumbs left at this rate. Suddenly, Haru rose to his feet and began to growl. What's the matter? Luke asked, stroking Haru's tense neck. The growling intensified as the dog continued to stare past the wrestling brothers and into the trees behind the fort. There was nothing there, and yet Haru stood frozen in place, snarling with his hackles raised. Luke was alarmed. What danger was Haru worried about? Luke didn't see anything. He also couldn't hear over the racket his friends were making. Luke stood up and peered around the fort, looking for anything suspicious.